Welcome back to the NFL Playbook. Hopefully you've watched a couple videos. You know by now we're Team Killer B. My name is Luke Louison, Giant Ball of Oil on Twitter and on DFS. And the lovely face across from mine here is Brett Hartfiel, Killer B himself, at Killer B2482 on Twitter. Brett, say hi to the people.
How we doing?
So we're here today to chat with you a little bit about football. I listened back to last week, listened to Chop and CSU, and they had the audacity after Week 8 to say that Ben Roethlisberger wasn't going to throw 6 touchdowns again in Week 9. I'm not making that mistake. I'm starting the bar at 6 touchdowns, and we're going up from there against the lowly New York Jets. Brett, what do you think Roethlisberger is going to do this week?
I mean, you gotta like the matchup. The Jets have faced off against the best quarterbacks in the NFL this year. I feel really bad for them. But the best quarterbacks in the NFL also have really pounded that Jets defense. So, do I think the Jets are as bad as they are? No, I don't. I think they've faced, I want to say, 7 or 8 of the top quarterbacks out there. So they get Roethlisberger, who is the hottest quarterback in the league. I mean, set the line at maybe 3.5 touchdowns here. I don't know. It's one of those things. It's in New York. So I do see this not being a blowout game. Michael Vick actually played well enough for them to keep up pace here. The over-under here is 45.5. They have Pittsburgh favored for 25. So they don't think Roethlisberger is going to get 3 touchdowns, Luke, or more than 3 touchdowns. They don't think so.
On the road. The thing that Roethlisberger had going for him the last couple of weeks is a team that stayed caught up with them, right? It was luck in a shootout 2 weeks ago. And last week, it wasn't just Flacco, but remember, what's his name? Jacoby Jones took one to the house and gave him an extra possession.
Right.
I don't see the Jets keeping up with them, right? Yeah. And the other thing the Jets will do is not keep up, which could slow the game down. And also, they're going to run the ball. I believe that they have the highest percentage of their plays that are runs in the NFL.
There you go.
I just don't see enough plays. But that said, I'm still predicting 6 touchdowns. I'm not falling for that. I'm predicting 6 touchdowns minimum.
Yeah. I mean, Ivory's going to slow down that game. And the Jets offense has been just plain out pitiful. Like, even though Vic didn't look bad last week, let's be honest here. I mean, if they get 20 points, they're happy, and 20 points, that doesn't mean 6 touchdowns for Pittsburgh through the air. If Jets put up their best effort of 20 points, I don't see Roethlisberger throwing for 6 touchdowns here.
And it's not like they can't run it. They haven't run it. It's not like they can. I could see Le'Veon Bell, especially when someone whispers to him that how much grass is in the end zone. We know Le'Veon Bell likes grass, so I could just see him ending up there.
Jeez.
This beautiful face you guys see here used to go by Boy Band Brett in college. I got to look at it Monday night because we had quite the sweat. We ended up with 3 Playboy tickets. We're Larry Donnell 40-yarder shy of a 4th one, and it would have taken 11-yard catch? No, 6-yard catch from Odell Beckham to take down 2 FFFC seats for us.
I believe it was a 7-yard catch. We needed 1.2 to take down 2 70K seats.
So. Not to mention a 27-yard T.Y. Hilton touchdown would have given us $1 million.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah.
That said, we were kind of going back and forth about what we think's going on in that New York Giant passing game, right? We got no Victor Cruz. Victor Cruz is not coming through that door, but Beckham's look great, especially when they show those highlights from practice, those one-handed grabs. I am still firmly in the Ruben Randall camp, but Beckham really helped us out. So what do you think? What do you make out of that receiving game?
Well, you definitely called the shot with Odell Beckham last week. I will give you props there. Luke was really big on Indy's cornerback. What's his name?
Vontae Davis.
Vontae Davis coming back last week. I kind of wanted to buy a little bit more Randall, and Luke talked me out of the Randall play. So we ended up buying a little bit more of Odell Beckham and GPPs. We also rolled out Randall and cash, which I didn't mind that either. But this is what I see. I see Ruben Randall still as wide receiver 1. All defenses, I think, look at the Giants wide receivers as Randall being wide receiver 1 also. So is it that big of a stretch to say Odell's wide receiver 1? No. But I think they're both very, very talented. Both could go off at any time. It's kind of like your Michael Floyd, Larry Fitzgerald situation. What's going on there.
Yeah.
And you never know. You never know when the Giants are going to decide to throw for 3 touchdowns, or when Arizona's going to throw for 3 touchdowns. So it's like one of those things where, I would consider these guys GPP plays. Would I consider them in cash games? Probably not.
Remember, even though Randall had a down game,
Right.
still had 11 targets, still tied Odell Beckham with 11 targets. And because Eli threw it like 50 sometimes, that was like 23% of the targets. I got this from Mike Clay, ESPN guy.
Yep.
That was the smallest percentage of Eli's targets Randall has gotten all year. And it was 11. That was the smallest percentage. And I think a couple weeks ago, he was leading the NFL in red zone targets.
And remember this. It's only his second game without Victor Cruz too. Yeah. So these stats are even skewed. So now without Victor Cruz there, you get like Odell Beckham. He kind of is playing. I can see Odell Beckham being almost like that Jarrell Jernigan last year, and I love that. I love Jarrell Jernigan. He definitely put up some money in our pockets in Week 17 last year. So love him.
Place in our heart.
But Larry Donnell, no doubt he's very athletic. Don't sleep on Larry Donnell. He also gave us a big week. I want to say in Week 5 he put up 3 touchdowns. So any one of these guys can be viable. Are they cash game plays though? You're going to convince me probably that Ruben Randall's a cash game play. I just see Eli Manning. They just lost an offensive lineman this past week. I forgot what part of the line, but you can see this team going downhill in the second half. So I'm selling off on most of my Giants in the second half until Rashad Jennings gets back in that offense and starts, because that run game is terrible. Andre Williams cannot run the ball. And now they're bringing in Peyton Hillis, who Peyton Hillis on Madden, the video game, and then all of a sudden just downhill. How does he get on Madden, the video game?
Listen, Peyton Hillis was the source of the most controversial trade I've ever been a part of in fantasy football history. So he holds a special place in my heart there. Hartfiel, the way I felt about Mike Evans going into this last week, where it had been, and it just felt like the breakout is coming, is how I feel about Ruben Randall. I think there's a 2-touchdown game just waiting somewhere along the way. So the Jets are terrible. I think we established that. I have a feeling that they are sick of being the worst green team in the NFL. And I think they sent Mark Sanchez over the Eagles as a Trojan horse. I think that is going to go all wrong. What do you think?
Yeah, so this is interesting. I think this is the biggest dynamic of Week 10 is what does the Philly offense look like here now? I mean, Sanchez came in and looked good. Yeah. That might have been the most shocking thing out of the week is like, wait, Mark Sanchez, like, okay, he's now he gets to take over the reins of one of the most electric offenses in the league. Like, this could be crazy. I mean, this is kind of like USC offense almost, back when he was actually good. Well, and he didn't have to do a lot. He got to throw it up. He got to throw it to Reggie Bush. Yeah, gave it to Lendale White, So what can he do in this Philly offense? Well, now instead of Reggie Bush and Lendale White, he gets McCoy. He gets Darren Sproles. I mean, could it happen? Yeah, you could. I could buy this. But what do I really see? I see it's going to be really tough to roll out Jerry Maclin now. Zach Ertz, where I thought he could possibly be a really good second half tight end after he got to know the system a little bit better. I don't see that happening anymore. But what I do see is I see something like Darren Sproles being a lot more effective because Sanchez does not have a strong arm. Let's just be honest here. He has the floorable long throws, but they're going to have to work underneath. So that means Sproles I see coming out of third down backfields or even screens. I could buy him, and even McCoy. I mean, McCoy is going to be still the first down, second down back there. It's interesting.
The thing that makes me more confident in him, I'm not going to say confident, but more confident, is the fact that for most of the people whose opinions I trust, Nick Foles isn't that good. And Chip Kelly made him look really good. And so is he just that? Is he just the quarterback whisperer? Like, is he just magic? One dynamic I kind of am interested in. You know that thing where the backup quarterback throws the ball to the third string wide receiver on the practice team or the second team, and then they both get promoted, and you see that kind of relationship thing? It was a beautiful pass that Sanchez threw out there to Jordan Matthews.
There you go.
Could you see that changing? I mean, I'm a little worried about Macklin, frankly, because the thing that's made Macklin great the last couple weeks is that Foles only has eyes for him. He's like, I got you, Macklin. I got you. I mean, all Sanchez has to do is spread it around a little bit, and then Macklin takes one of those Riley Cooper 3 for 30 lines. So I'm leery there.
Yeah, I like that idea, though. I mean, obviously Sanchez wasn't throwing to a lot of the starters in practice, so he probably got to work with Jordan Matthews a lot more. And a young kid like that, that's all he needs is a little bit of, Sanchez knows what he's doing out of routes because he's thrown the ball to him probably a ton in practice. Yeah. Has he thrown it to Macklin in practice? Has he thrown it to Ertz in practice? Who knows? But he is now working with the first team offense. So, anything can happen. Anything can happen.
I think what it is like Stafford just throws it up to Megatron whenever because he's seen him come down with it so often. I think what happens in practice is you see this guy that nobody really knows about come down with a few tough balls. And it just gives you the confidence to throw them up. And the more they get thrown up, the more they come down with them. And it's kind of like this rolling downhill sort of thing. So maybe Jordan Matthews shows up.
Well, let's just not put Stafford in the same eyes as Sanchez here. I mean, Stafford can still zing the ball. He can still make throws that not a lot of people can throw. Sanchez can't make these throws. Sanchez does not have a good arm. He's going to have to use his big play wide receivers in deep passes. So is this good for Zach Ertz somehow getting down the field? Is this good for Macklin somehow? Or is it good for Riley Cooper? Maybe Jordan Matthews? It seems like Matthews has jumped over the Cooper, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So what we can really say is I have a feeling Matthews could be the play here. But, I would buy Sproles all day. I think his stock rises with a quarterback that doesn't have a strong arm. And they're going to have to be effective. Don't worry. Why can't I think the Philly coach?
Chip Kelly.
Chip Kelly will find a way for that offense to produce. And if you can't trust Sanchez to throw the ball down the field or make the tough throws, he's going to find some dynamic ways, with the LaShawn McCoys, with the Darren Sproles to be effective. Guaranteed.
Those bubble screens, those all count.
Yeah. Just watch what he used to do in any offense that he's ever ran. I mean, he's always had talent, obviously, but now, without a quarterback running this system, it should be interesting.
Hooch, let's just say that Sanchez throws for 5 touchdowns, and it's Monday morning, and he's standing up in the media room, and he's pretty proud of himself. He's got his little hairband in like he always does, and he's like, he wants some dap. Can't you just hear a defensive lineman going, butt fumble? Like he's never outliving that.
He will never. In fact, that's got to be in the Grote article coming up. It's just the butt fumble. Like I could watch the butt fumble like a good, 15 times, and I'd still be laughing my ass off. So
absolutely. Well, I think that's gonna bring an end to the NFL playbook for the day. We'd like to give a little shout out to our third partner, Kurt Hartfiel. Couldn't make it today, but he's a hell of a fella. So Grinders, win $1 million for us. Well, 100,000 we'll be taking home the million. But thanks a lot, guys.
All right. We'll see you.